Veronica Mars, the complete second season. We're doing a review today.
Oh yeah.
So come on now, sugar. Bring it on, bring it on.
Yeah, is that what they say? Is that in the?
It's a really bad theme song,
Okay.
but it's an excellent show.
It's pretty good actually. I was pretty bored with it at the beginning, but then I thought, when I realized it was a class thing and rich people were getting away with garbage.
Yes.
You know, rich people like
interesting.
O.J.
They're covering
Simpson
some serious topics on this, and it was made for teenagers. James asked me when it was made, and
they
looks
mentioned
like 2005.
Yeah. So they mentioned Dick Cheney,
Okay.
Someone getting Cheneyed or something like that.
Okay, so that
shot
kind
in the
of
face or something like that. So
yeah.
that
Maybe a little
told me
bit
it
of-
was somewhere around the midpoint of
Sure.
Bush babies. That's what I call George Bush,
Yeah.
Junior Bush baby.
Okay.
The middle of his regime, reign, whatever you want to call it.
But this is part of the personal collection.
Yeah,
and
there we
I
go.
don't know. I think.
This is the second
remember
time you've been through it.
correctly,
Is that what you were saying?
This was made by somebody involved with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, there we go. Seems that way to me. Yeah.
I can't remember offhand exactly, but that seems to be why I looked into it in the first place. It's basically like a Nancy Drew story. But
only
it's
quite
good.
a bit more dark, and
Yes.
What else can I say? This story, a Nancy Drew story, used to get wrapped up in a little over 200 pages.
Yeah,
and
but
then
this one, I mean, you
175.
have one big story, which takes her all season to figure out. And then she's figuring out little things along the way, right? She's a curious sort of person.
Yeah,
very
kinda
smart.
Like Nancy Drew.
Yeah. And anyway, so it's made for teens, but it has really heavy topics, like I was saying. Like
Adult themes.
Adult themes, sort of things that teenagers honestly have to deal with. These are things that teenagers have to learn about, right? So,
sadly.
Anyway.
Some of them, they're just messing around with and figuring out themselves. Some of them are getting visited on them by adults. Like nasty principals, abusive teachers, on and on it goes,
So I would highly recommend Veronica Mars. I even enjoy watching it at my age.
Well, I mean, like I was just getting, I was worried about getting my blood pressure up because I cannot stand rich people getting away with things. And so Zan Zinger in the Bob Dylan song that he did way back in about 62 or 63 or something like that, who didn't like the service he was getting from the black maid and just beat her to death with his cane or something like that. If Bob Dylan about the story, or O.J. Bill Cosby, getting away with Bill Cosby finally didn't get away with it, but he got away with decades of that stuff. Or Weintraub, people get away with stuff because they're rich.
So anyway,
O.J.'s still getting away with it.
But you enjoyed the show too, right?
Yeah, well, like I say, it took me a while to figure out what the...
Yeah. Well, at first
because you watch
it took me a while to get into this, because I was thinking, this is just some silly teen thing.
Well, what I was thinking was, you get used to the mystery thing, which is solve it in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Or, like with commercials in and out. Solve it. But there's all sorts of loose ends and stuff like that. It's a different sort of dynamic, shall we say.
Yeah. The writing is witty. There's some funny jokes and stuff.
It was maybe a little too witty for a high school student.
Sure. But she's supposed to be a cut above the rest.
Well, she didn't make it into Stanford, but she did for a while. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
They were saying
I wasn't paying attention.
They sent her finally to San Diego State, which is One of my drama friends went there. Yeah. And I was saying to someone else who was a drama friend, well, this guy, he kind of lost the job. And I said, why would he lose that job? He went to San Diego, what was it, University of San Diego. And this other guy who was a bit of a bozo corrected me, said San Diego State, not the same thing. He's still better than you. He got his master's. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this other bozo
oh my gosh, my knee is just killing me.
got his bachelor.
Anyway.
You want to say more about Veronica?
No, I really don't. I think
it speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself. Watch it. I mean, don't just dismiss it because it's supposed to be a show for teenagers or something like that. You think?
Yeah.
What do they know? Well, the writers, they did their job. It's
I
actually
think,
worth watching.
Because even though they might have done it at something like real time, because they're moving on to college in the next year.
There's a lot of thought went into this. I'm really impressed with it.
So you don't end up with the crazy things like Hercule Poirot in his first novel, 1923, he's old. And Agatha Christie's still writing about him in the 70s, so it's 50 years later. And he's, if anything, he's maybe a bit younger.
Yeah, you were mentioning that you don't know if people will get away with that they might be censoring shows from the past or whatever because of things that might be seen as racist or something like that. But it's like, well, it's reality.
The Latino gang, along with an Irish gang or something.
Yeah, in this,
I'm pretty sure it'd be okay to still have Irish gang, Irish bad guys.
But if they
South African white bad guys.
It's honest, to show it.
Honesty is going the way of the dinosaur nowadays, and it's both right and left wing. Anyway. Donald Trump and the people who laugh at Donald Trump, I laugh at all of them. They're such lying liars. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about?
Well, no? I mean, it's interesting that we're not hearing about COVID lately.
Listen to the CBC News at noon. That should be one of the, times when they give you the most detailed news, somewhere around 6 o'clock, maybe in the morning too. I don't think there is a word of COVID on. How about this, that, and the other thing? And that's just like missing the boat, They did talk about economic fallout, but I don't think they mentioned COVID. They're talking about jobs coming back and stuff like that. So get with the program, with your programming, idiots, on CBC.
Well, I think it's a lot of people don't care about COVID anymore. A lot of people, they have bought into early reports from medical personnel and whatever on the CBC and from the WHO, and they don't actually realize that we're in a pandemic. They don't know what that means, and they don't believe it. So they're taking their children out in grocery stores without masks on.
They had one story about COVID. It really wasn't about it. And it was about how it looks as though private schools are getting a push from this because they've got smaller class sizes.
Oh, okay. I don't think that'll help them anyway. Honestly, even if you have smaller class sizes, the class size needs to be 1. It needs to be homeschooling, or it's just going to spread like crazy. I can't see this not spreading once school starts. I mean, you have a whole bunch of the children may be asymptomatic, or they may have different
less threatening, immediately threatening.
Yeah.
Long-term
symptoms, but
very nasty, but
I mean, then all of a sudden you'll have a whole bunch of carriers. It'll
Yep.
just be spreading it to everyone. I can't see how this is going to end up working out
Well, the school thing, it's going to work out badly. They say that they've got a few people working on the vaccine, Pfizer and another thing, that they're under the third stage. But in the next stage, I think it's tests with
Well, here's
community.
hoping.
Yeah.
I mean,
But no, I don't believe in surviving on hope.
to have some sort of a plan. But I can't be dark anymore because I got my mom down. So I can't say things like suggesting that I don't really care if I die or something like that because she doesn't want me to die. But she's not protecting herself as well as I am, so I don't know. She's
Well,
working at a grocery store.
she's caught in a tough situation,
Yeah, she is.
and
And I don't want her to worry about me. I'm fairly safe within my house right now.
yeah, I'm the problem because
You're having to go to the hospital.
I can go to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's probably averages out once a week, and that's actually
But no,
somewhat of an understatement. It's like 5 times a month.
I didn't expect to. I needed to be on a farm before this hit. I don't expect to. I don't know what can happen, but I think this is going to be just one after another. It's just going to be
Could be.
an ongoing thing, where we'll get the next one, the next wave.
The Chinese are already lining up the
That's what I think.
swine flu.
Well, it could be. I mean, it could come from many different.
Of course, some of it
places.
would be inadvertent, like
Like the antibiotic resistance.
antibiotic resistance from feedlots.
Yeah. But I can't see. I mean, I can't. I don't want to be a downer, but honestly, this is.
Person's got to be realistic.
Yeah.
You know?
People should have seen this coming.
Someone
for a
wrote a
long
very
time.
good
I did.
article on the internet about how terrorists are taking notes.
Yeah.
Also slavering over those notes, just slobbering, because
Definitely.
they know, if they come up with something, not even come up with something, like just, in other words, they don't have to be have technical expertise, they just have to get hold of something that developed like this. We'll use anthrax again, and yes, it was Al-Qaeda that was using anthrax. The Americans covered that up so well. It was amazing. They didn't want a backlash against. They knew the anthrax would have caused a huge backlash with people of color, and so they set up a guy.
Just people. I don't want to hear this people of color thing anymore.
No,
It
that's
makes
the
me
way.
feel dirty.
Okay, that's the way they were thinking. Okay? That's the Bush administration. They were actually thinking they were being responsible.
It's like people are wanting to segregate.
Yeah. I
Wanting
don't
to
believe
use
in
terms. Yeah, it's bad.
Setting people apart, setting
Just
people against each other.
People are people.
Mhm.
They're not like some lesser people, or there's no special people.
greater
or-
people.
It's just people.
Yeah.
And if you don't see people that way, then you're a part of the problem, not a part of the solution.
Yeah, both the alt-right and the alt-left love segregating people in that way, like in terms of the way they...
Lost something down there. One day we're gonna look behind this table and we're gonna find all sorts of wonderful
I
treasures.
thought someone was throwing something else. Better not.
All right.
Anyway,
So
I did want to talk about the hospital.
Okay. Talk about the
I
hospital.
went to it for the Actually, within the last 8 days, that's my 4th visit. And it's not my idea to go down there, but I have to. And I noticed they've been handing out and requiring you to wear masks. And I think it was Canmore has followed Calgary's and Edmonton's fine example of requiring everyone in public places, if I understand it, having to wear, in public transportation, having to wear a mask. Go to a hospital where you'd think it would be, I can't think of too many places aside from a long-term care facility or something like that where it would be really desperately important for people to wear a mask. And I saw people with their masks down, heroically exposing themselves to the possibility of COVID so they could talk on the phone more clearly. There should be rules. If you can't elocute on the phone through a mask, you should get on the phone outside of any public place. It was amazing. I saw, I'd say at least half a dozen people. It seemed like half the people I saw, I don't want to exaggerate, but half a dozen people in the hospital, mask down, blah, blah, blah.
Was that hospital personnel?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Almost without exception.
Oh my God.
OMG, exactly right. I saw one nurse talking to another. It was outside of the cafeteria. One nurse didn't even have a mask. The other one had her mask down so she could make herself talk more clearly. It wasn't so she could talk important stuff like, hey, like what sort of...
what dose of medication
yeah, exactly
do I need?
right. It was just chitter chat.
You don't want to get that mixed up.
No. Really important.
But
so that was that makes 7 people who had to have that mask down to yip and yap. So you might have an important phone call to make. Don't be out in public. This is in the main concourse or whatever they call it, yipping and yapping and possibly spreading the COVID disease or catching it. It's going to have to be done. Am I the first person to have to raise it? It shouldn't be that way. This shouldn't be happening in an institution. There should be people like mystery shoppers walking around and saying to themselves, should this be happening? What can we do about this? It's incredible. But believe me, that's the next step. And how long is it going to take? A month for them to close down the loophole? Will they close it down at all? I don't know. It's maybe one of those freedoms, like freedom from fear and freedom from want. The freedom to talk on your cell phone in public with your mask down. Oh, man. So, yeah. I'm sick of people and what they think is their freedom.